Hi there. Something that happens every now and then is I post a picture on Facebook, like this one, and somebody says, I like that, I want to buy it. And then I start telling them, you realize this is a sheet of newsprint. It's very flimsy paper, it's not very archival, but it's big. It's 18 inches wide by 24 inches tall, etc., etc. And then I have other people saying, dude, why are you arguing with this guy who's trying to give you money? I'm not arguing with the guy who's trying to give me money. I'm trying to make sure he understands what he is purchasing and what he is not purchasing. For example, the things you don't see behind the scenes is the rest of the conversation, which took place on private message, where I said, okay, you know what the thing's made of, you know it's newsprint and etc., etc. And they say, yes, I understand. And they say, give me it. And I say, okay, it's $50. You can send it to my PayPal. And they say, whoa. I've got to see the finished oil painting first. And I'm like, dude, we just negotiated the purchase of a charcoal drawing on a piece of newsprint. And they're like, no, I don't want the piece of newsprint. I want the oil painting for the price that you just quoted me for the newsprint. That's not going to happen. Another guy thinks he owns the copyright if he buys it. He thinks he's going to make prints of it and sell them at Comic-Con. And I'm like, no, man, I'm going to make prints of it and sell it at Comic-Con. You're not going to do that. I actually had one guy who bought a piece of artwork off of me, and down in the corner it said the copyright symbol, copyright Gilead. He thought that meant he owned copyright Gilead. Everything I've ever painted in my life was his property, was his, and he was certain about it. And so I said, yeah, you go ahead and take me to court, and I'll sit there and smile while the judge explains that to you. Okay, so I'm not arguing with people who are trying to buy my stuff. I'm trying to make sure they know what they're buying and what they are not buying. And I also want them to know how big this damn thing is, because most people don't want something that big hanging on their wall. You know, by the time you put a frame around it and everything, it's big. It's really big. And so the thing that I posted, my most recent post on Facebook, is only this big. All right? That is a much more manageable size. Get a frame around that, and it could be pretty nice. It is still just a piece of newsprint. And the reason I'm telling you that is because of the rest of my process. Okay, so what I mean when I say it's just newsprint doesn't last very long. It's not archival. It turns yellow and brittle and is going to fall apart within your lifetime. This, however, is an acid-free archival sheet of art paper. Presumably, if it doesn't get caught in a fire, this will last 1,000 years. Okay, so what we're going to do, this piece of paper is not going to be for sale. I'm going to take this sheet of transfer paper, it's like an old carbon paper, and I'm going to put it on top of here, like so. I'm going to put this in the middle, like so. I'm going to take a ballpoint pen, and I'm going to transfer the sketch by tracing over these lines. And even though this sketch looked very nice in charcoal, it's just a sketch. It's just a conceptual design for me. It's not the finished piece of artwork. The finished piece of artwork is what I'm going to make on this little piece of gray paper that I showed you. I do the exact same thing when I'm going to make an oil painting or a watercolor or anything else. And I've had this idea for a while that I might do all three possibly with the same drawing. I might do a nice quality charcoal sketch, a watercolor, and an oil painting. All of this image right here. I don't know if I'm going to do that. I'd like your feedback on whether that's a good idea or not. But anyways, this gets transferred to the paper. I hope you can see it. And then I can go back and do a really nice artistic sketch of this again that will be on a really good sheet of paper. So now the question is, and I'm going to do this really rough edit here where I turn the tripod towards me. Okay, why, Gilead, why do you paint things or draw things on newsprint in the first place if it's not archival material? Because I don't know which drawing somebody's going to want and which of the other 1,000 drawings that I did in between you're not going to want. And if I used expensive paper on every little doodle I did, I would spend $10,000 on art supplies for every one $25 drawing that I sold. So you see, mathematically, it's a little infeasible. So anyways, I'm going to do a handful of these finished charcoal drawings, not on newsprint, on nice paper, possibly some watercolors, and maybe or maybe not on the oil paintings. But I want to do some really affordable, I'm thinking in the $20 to $30 range, things that I can sell at science fiction conventions. And I'd like to know if there's a market for that or if you think you would like to get one. All right, thank you.